good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the case may be. Welcome back to the channel, people. Yes, you're right. Another stream. The work rate has gone up 400%, and the season hasn't even started. This is, I think, my 5th stream in about 10 days, 11 days. I'm working hard. I'm working hard. Unlike some people at Liverpool, some would say, but we will get there. People, thank you very much for joining us. We are here for a brand new series called Jai and Chat. The Jai is ready. The chat seems to be ready. And we're going to go ahead and introduce my first guest of the Jai and Chat series. And would you believe it? It's the man, the myth, the legend. I'm using his catchphrase for introductions for what he uses everyone else. But I think it's fair to say he is the man, the myth, the legend. The man. We dubbed the title of the show, and it wasn't me, by the way, people. If Husam wants to come for me before he starts, one of my contributors, shout out Ohms, he said head loss, old head versus head loss. It's the man himself. This is football's very own Don Husam. Don, how are you, brother? Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Big up everyone in the chat. Make sure you guys are liking. Make sure you guys are subscribing. 3 years later, I'm back on Football Carnage, guys. 3 years. It's been a while. It's been a while, but we're here. You know, I definitely had a head loss yesterday. You know, and we can come to explain this head loss to a more calmer person. Hopefully, have a calmer conversation today. But yeah, there's a lot for us to talk about and discuss. Make sure you guys are liking. Make sure you guys are subscribing to Football Carnage as well. And yeah, we're here, man. We're here.
Yeah, it's mad, you know, like how life works. Like you just said, 3 years, and I'm thinking, whoa, I'm looking at myself, and I'm thinking, mashallah, I'm still looking well, man. But but you're looking well as well, and you know, and I just seen, like, not just seen, like when we first spoke, when we first met, just a bit of background story. People, guys, don't get bored. I know there's like 600 of you guys already in here. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't. And you know, just a bit of a backstory. Me and Husam started off in a very good foot. You know, I came on his show, me and Avi, known as Blue Chip on Twitter, and we used to have lovely chats. And then with everything, and as with everything in life, things happen. Miscommunication, lines of communication blurred. We lose our temper, we're emotional, and we support Liverpool, the most emotional club ever created on the face of earth in the history of football. So if Liverpool is the most emotional club ever created, so are the fans going to be the most emotional. And I think it's fair to say I've probably got one of the most emotional fans with me today. People will love him, people will hate him, and that's with anyone from the king to the queen to the prime minister to the, you know, anything. And in anything in life, people love, hate, whatever. But all I ask for is respect, and I've always asked for respect. So people in the chat, show him respect, show him love. No, you don't have to show him love. You can still hate him. Like, hate him all you want, but show him respect. Always show respect. We're here to discuss. We're here to talk. It's going to be, I've got my chai ready, Husam. Have you got your chai ready? You know, we've got a chai ready, and we're going to have a gub shop. People are, look, thank you very much for the support and love already. People are saying this is going to be epic. Smash the like and subscribe. Yeah, go and check out Husam. You know me, I don't know how to do all this. I don't know how to put your channel in the description, but I'll work it out. You know me, I'm an absolute amateur at this. Even though you say 3 years, nothing's changed, my brother. And nothing's changed. I just turn on the laptop and Bismillah. You know, a few friends helped me set up the stream, and we're good to go. But yeah, man, big up Emperor Hanji Kidamundio, big up Grizz, Husam, hit the likes. I think maybe we start off with we won't start off with yesterday's events. We'll start off today's, and then we work our way backwards and everything. Obviously, Liverpool we're about to start another season under a new manager, under a new coach, under a new team of backroom people, but we're trying to go to the old school structure, but with new people. And today, let's just start off with, there was some breaking news, but it was shut down after 15-20 minutes. Luis Diaz to Man City. So obviously the story was shut down, But where are you with the Luis Diaz? We'll start off with the subject of Luis Diaz, for example. Are you entertaining bids of 70 million or less? Do you think, have you a person already in your mind that you want to upgrade him with? So, what was your reaction when we first read that headline, and how do you feel about that?
My reaction when we read the headline is I thought we scammed Man City, to be honest with you, for a 15-minute period. I thought we really scammed them for 70 million pounds. I mean, listen, people get too attached to football players, too attached, to servants of Liverpool Football Club. And at the end of the day, we should want the club to win. We should want the club to succeed. And anyone who gets in the way of that, in my opinion, should be let go of. Now, I look at Luis Diaz as a player that I would happily sell this summer. I think 70 million is a bit too much to begin with. I'd probably sell him. I'm not even
It was 70
exaggerating.
million euros. Sorry, I beg your pardon. It was
Yeah,
70
euro.
million euro, which equates to about 60 million, something like that.
Yeah, I'd probably sell him, no exaggeration, for about 30-40 million pounds, because that's what I think he's worth. The eye test fools a lot of people, because Luis Diaz is a player that just deceives with the way that he plays football. Incredible dribbling, very good at getting past someone. I mean, speaking of City, we all remember what happened in the City game. I mean, he kind of made Kyle Walker eat Anfield grass in that game. That's how what he did to Kyle Walker. But in the moment in which you need him, when he looked at Henderson straight in the face, he shot the ball straight at the corner flag, and that for me is the biggest issue with Luis Diaz. His final end productivity. Some people say, Husam, some stuff doesn't reflect in GA. You are correct. Let's not talk about GA. We can mention stuff like big chances created. For the people who are unaware, you can go to the Premier League website, you can check big chances created. Luis Diaz has less big chances created than Reece James, who was injured all year long. Alfie Doherty, who got relegated with Luton. Cameron Archer, who got relegated with Sheffield. He has less big chances created than about 65, 70 players in the English Premier League, whilst playing for the most offensive team in the league last season and being managed by Jurgen Klopp, who is known for his all-out attack approach. So for me, not enough in the final third, doesn't create chances, doesn't score goals, nowhere near clinical. I think very indecisive in the final third. And the issue, Grizz, I'll tell you the biggest issue, is the fact that he's 28. So this is who he is. It's not like there's going to be, some form of improvement in which he suddenly develops into a goal scorer or a creator or a blah. Like, this is who he is. He's 28 years old. He might become better than him now. He might show flashes. Maybe he peaks at 29 and has a season where he has like 10 goals and 10 assists. But the truth of the matter is he's just not good enough. And you ask about the placements. Anthony Gordon has as many assists this year as much as Luis Diaz in his whole Liverpool career. That's how much of a difference he makes. And Anthony Gordon has scored goals against all the big six sides whilst playing for Newcastle, who had so many injuries. He was their main man. And it's insane, because people always want us to just back our players just because they play for Liverpool Football Club. But the statistics do not lie. The statistics are there for a reason. I think even if I push Jay to the side, the fact that he has less big chances created than a Cameron Archer, who's a forward for Sheffield United, tells me all I need to know about him. So I would happily let him go, and I would sign a different player who's a lot more effective in the final third. And one final thing, I know I've spoken for a lot. The reason why we need that is, and this is one thing that people generally don't realize, Mo is 31. Mo is 30-31. We need someone to alleviate some of the pressure off of Mo, because Jota does that when he plays, but his problem is fitness. But we need someone else to rise. Like, he needs a running mate. He needs someone who can come in and help him and bring in a goal and assist here, because Mo's allowed to have a bad game every now and then. He's 31. So whenever he has a bad game, we need someone else to step up to the plate. And I don't see Diaz doing that at all. I mean, even the goal he scored in the friendly, how many Luis Diaz goals for Liverpool can you name of the same exact type, if you would like, where he just cuts in, no nonsense, shot, goal? What he usually does is cut in and then look at another defender, then cut in again, and 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 cut in again. By the time he's done cutting in, he's at the other corner. So yeah, that's my honest opinion of him. I would happily let him go. Would I like him to go to Man City? Ideally, no. But for 70 million, I'm taking that all day, every day. All day, every day, I'm taking that. So that's my long answer to Diaz situation.
No, I wish I remembered what to do what I'm doing now while you was talking, because now you're finished. I've just remembered I forgot to tweet that I'm live, but something minor. But look, Luis Diaz. People that listen to my rubbish will know what I think of him, and I've been consistent from the very start. I used to have many an argument with Avi Blue Chip about him. Avi was a massive advocate. I remember the epic stream we done at 6 a.m. UK time when he signed. Obviously, it's different in USA for him. It was like a normal time, but for us, it was 6 a.m. And he was over the moon and everything. And look, Luis Diaz he started off very, very well for us. I remember.
He did. He did.
And it was like we found someone who can dribble. He's got one-on-one skills. He was the talisman of Porto, so he knows what it's like being the spearhead. But I think it was always going to be an uphill struggle, and the reason for it was always going to be an uphill struggle for him because we're so used to a footballing Premier League Liverpool icon in Sadio Mane in that position. And Sadio Mane has only come round every decade or so. Not every player is going to be a Sadio Mane. And so this perception, when we ever had this new player in that role, Luis Diaz, Sadio Mane, come on, man. We're so used to efficiency. Sadio Mane wasn't one to drag backs, take the player on, do this, do that. Sadio Mane was see go, hit go, work hard, and assist. Like pure machine when it comes to output. Luis Diaz has got talent. You don't play at the level he has and showcase some of the skills that he does without talent. But I agree, and I've said it for a little while, that the data team, especially the data team that we had, were all about output. And I genuinely believe we would sell if we got a decent enough offer. The problem now is, what's a decent offer? And you said you'd sell for 40, 50 million. I'm more on the 50 million. I'm more on the 50 million because of the current market and the way it's going, man. I'm not going to sell for 40 million. But I agree with you. And this is starting off so, we've been like regarded as enemies last 8 months or 10 months or whatever, 12 months, I don't know how long. But this is starting off so softly because I agree with the replacement as well. I agree with I've been saying Gordon. Now, some people may say, oh, come on, he's only had one season, but I think he's a prick. But I don't mind having pricks in your team when they're good. I think he's a diver. I think he's got a nasty streak in him. But I think he'll absolutely increase the output. And I used to think the same. I used to think he's a prick, a diver, all of that at Everton. But he was the one guy that I used to fear. And the reason why is because of his searing pace. And in our team right now, apart from Nunes in our attack, I think we lack extreme pace. Like Diaz is quick-ish. Jota's movement is elite. Nunes is the only speedster, right? Mo is not that player anymore in terms of speed. And we were feared for having speed in our attack, right? So I think I'm with you in that one. I think Luis Diaz, and then obviously everyone knows by now it's Gordon. I keep forgetting his first name. What's his first name?
Anthony.
I keep forgetting his first name always. Anthony Gordon. I think he'd be the absolutely nailed on. But can you see Barcelona stumping up the cash? Because realistically, it's them or PSG. Have PSG signed anyone to replace on the left Mbappe? Anyone, guys? Has PSG got their
No,
attackers?
I think they've signed midfielders. They've signed Joao Neves, and there's another midfielder I believe they've signed, but I don't think they've signed a forward line player yet, to be honest with you.
So we pray that PSG isn't in and around the conversation. We know he wants Barcelona. The Man City one was always going to be a load of rubbish. But yeah, okay, that's sorted out then. I think we agree on the Luis Diaz situation. I think it's time to rewind.
Another player, by the way, I take to replace him is Kvaratskhelia from Napoli, because he actually mixes dribbling with actual output. This season he has 17 GA in 34 games. So every 2 games basically either gets you a goal or an assist for a Napoli side that finished 10th, and they were struggling. Like he gets a goal or assist once every 10 games, so once every 2 games, sorry. And he mixes like actual skill with output, and I think that's what separates him. And to be honest with you, other elite wingers who are very good at dribbling, from the likes of Diaz and others who were good at dribbling, like watching Luis Diaz. I mean, there's many players you could recall from back in the day, like a Hatem Ben Arfa or players like that, who very good on the eye, very pleasing on the eye, but you need them to deliver in that big moment, and they kind of don't do that. So that would be another player I'd take. But Gordon makes more sense, homegrown quota and stuff
He's
like that.
ready. He's ready. He's ready. You know,
But there's an issue.
he's what you with Gordon. It's plug and play. What I mean by that is plug it in and play it. You don't have to do nothing.
Yeah.
Kvara absolutely has the talent, absolute insane talent, work rate, everything that Liverpool profile of a Liverpool player suggests, especially attacker. But he wouldn't need time to settle. This is a total different league.
Yeah, I hear that. That is fair. The
Gordon is there.
Yes, the one problem with waiting next summer for Gordon is there's another club in blue that operates at Manchester that might need a left winger a summer from now. If
no. Gordon, if when Gordon leaves Newcastle, this is obviously, as always, only opinion. I think he's nailed on to be a Liverpool. I'm not going to say, hey, Gordon, because every time I say, hey, it fucks up. So I'm not going to say, hey, Gordon. Don't clip this shit up. I'm not saying, hey, Gordon, but I'm saying Anthony Gordon.
You just did clip him up, guys.
No, I said I didn't say it. I'm saying I'm not saying, hey, Gordon. So don't clip out the bit where I say, I'm not saying, and then just clip up, hey, Gordon. Right? Because you know people can do that shit.
He's done it again. You have 3 Hey Gordons to clip, guys.
Okay, you're saying it now as well. But people are saying Kudos. Mohamed Kudos is in the mix as well. But Mohamed Kudos is
I like him too.
But Mohamed Kudos would be more of a Mohamed Salah succession plan.
Yeah.
Because that's the position I would play Mohamed Kudus. I wouldn't play him on the left. Even though I think he can play pretty much anyway, including as an 8. But look, we're going to go back 24 hours? 12 hours? I don't know. 24 hours, I think. Is it 24? Has it been 24 hours?
It feels like it's been a week, to be honest with you.
It has been a week. It has been a week. You're right. The saga of number 6 first, let's just say. We'll start off with the number 6 because the GOAT of all journalists, the absolute GOAT of all journalists, David Ornstein, broke to us that, alhamdulillah, he didn't say that. We said that. Liverpool have identified their need for a number 6. He's not known to be playing in the Premier League, so he wasn't unsure about the name, or didn't have clearance to say the name, suggest the name. That name obviously turns out to be I don't even want to say his name. Do you want to say his name? You know,
Zubimendi, you mean?
Yeah, Zubimendi. Like, you know, I heard all the things that you called him, and I was laughing my heads off. People in the chat remind us of what Husam was calling Zubimendi and what kind of things he was saying. You know, I'm a community man.
Every bit of
I'm a family man and a community man. It won't sound nice if I say it. It won't suit me if I say some of the things, but I was laughing. I was actually laughing. But look, we identify this guy. Now, Husam, slowly, as from that report onwards, all the reports suggested things were spiraling into him actually joining, because we were getting more and more positive reports. Even the foreign, the local Spanish journalists who are related to the club were suggesting, yeah, we're going to lose him. It looks like he's made up his mind. It turns out he had made up his mind. But of course, we also know that in the pursuing 3 or 4 days in between, they went on a offensive charm and convinced him to stay, or he changed his mind. We know your reaction. We're not going to go back to your reaction. We know you're a passionate, emotional guy. You lose it sometimes, so what? You absolutely lose it sometimes, so what? But you wanted him. The reason why you lost it is because you wanted him. Was he the answer, do you think? Or was you angry at the whole process? So I want you to break down, was it him? Like, oh my God, he's so perfect for us. Or was it, what have we done? How we've been embarrassed again?
I'll tell you exactly what made me lose my mind. What exactly made me lose my mind is after the rejection by about half an hour, Ornstein releases, or I think it was Ornstein Joyce, I don't want to misquote, one of the big top dog journalists basically released that Liverpool won't buy a 6. Liverpool won't buy a 6 is what made me lose my mind. Now, I know, Grizz, obviously, like, I know you haven't seen like all my videos for the last 2 months or anything, which is fine. Like, this is normal. But I've been really positive about Liverpool this summer. And people in the chat who watch my channel will vouch. Like, watch them all comment the word vouch right now. They've been watching me. I've been telling guys, listen, the month of August is where we're going to cook. They said we're going to be busy in August. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We spoke about so many DMs, so many left backs, so many center backs. I've been actually quite positive about the club this whole summer, like saying, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. You cannot factually, categorically, as soon as your first target fails, tell me we're not going to get anyone else. That for me is the single biggest issue in the whole conversation over the last 24 hours. And you see the people vouching in the chat because they know this summer I've actually been different. I've actually been guys like, yo, let's be patient, let's wait till August, etc. Now, yesterday, the Zubimendi stuff comes out. I'll talk about Zubimendi. I don't know if I should talk about Zubimendi or the sixth situation in general, but from the sixth situation in general, that is the thing that made me more angry and more pissed off more than anything else. Because when you look at Zubimendi, okay, the guy said no. He wants to stay at Sociedad. I have my own reasons to why I think that happened, which I'll get to in a second. You cannot 30 minutes after tell me, yo, we're not going to sign a DM. Because actually, many people know this already. Mo Salah was a plan B. Sadio Mane was a plan B. Wijnaldum was a plan B. We've had so many plan B players to come to Liverpool Football Club and play absolutely incredibly. And my issue is the following. My issue is the following. You're actually publicly stating that you have no coherent plan whatsoever if you're telling me that your plan only relies on one single individual player, which cannot be accurate on any degree, in any company, in any football club around the world. If player X does not want to sign, by definition, there must be a player Y that is ready to sign that wants to join your football club. You must have a succession plan. You must have an alternative. You must have a, if this doesn't work out, idea, basically. And that, for me, is my biggest issue with it. Because it's one thing, you know, fair enough, Zubimendi rejected us. He wanted to stay at Sociedad. He didn't want to leave San Sebastian, blah, 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 blah. He's in love with his club. That's all fair. Because Liverpool have been rejected before. Man United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, every
our own
club.
Steven Gerrard has done the same. Our own Steven Gerrard has done the same. Yeah.
100%. Every club on the planet has been rejected before. But categorically, the issue is we used to be a club in which we target a player, and if he doesn't come, we get option B on the list. And if option B on the list doesn't want to come, option C comes. This stuff that Grizz himself knows. He's probably seen lists. He's probably seen sheets of players, of information about this player is, you know, the primary target. If we don't get him, we'll try for this, we'll try for that. And what makes matters worse is the fact that this is the third summer in a row, Grizz, in which a number 6 has been targeted. So I don't think even the most positive individual on the planet can PR spin this into a somehow a positive. 2 years ago, it was Chouameni. Last summer, it was Caicedo. This summer, it was Zubimendi. For 3 years in a row, the whole world knows that Liverpool Football Club need a 6, need a DM. What cannot happen now is for us to act like all of a sudden we don't need one. We definitely need one, and we've shown it for 3 years in a row. So, yeah. Or putting up your tweet. The fact that we're pursuing a 6 since Klopp went for Chouameni suggests Klopp felt there was a need of one. Failed attempts at bringing in Lavia, Caicedo. Yep. And now third summer in a row is Zubimendi. And that's my point, Grizz. How can I? It's like, imagine, Grizz, 3 years ago, I tell you, man, I want to buy a car. And then last year, yo, I want to buy a car. And then this summer, yo, I want to buy a car. But then somehow I come tell you at the end of the time where I'm allowed to buy a car, yo, Grizz, I don't need a car anymore, man. I'm going to do with a bicycle. Well, like, you'd be like, bro, you've been telling me about buying a car for 3 years. You've been telling me about buying a car for 3 years. And that's the biggest issue with this. So there must be a succession plan. And one final thing I would say is, here's my problem as well. People are now acting like two things I have a problem with. Number one, people acting like there's no options in the DM market. There are. Me and you can right now name about 5-6 DMs that we could buy that are an upgrade on Endo or whoever plays DM. Number two, the reason why there are no solutions from within is because we have seen it in preseason. And even though there are flashes and there are moments competing in the English Premier League, you need a defensive midfielder that actually is a defensive midfielder. You cannot have a makeshift defensive midfielder. Use Liverpool Football Club as the example. Remember when Fabinho had a bad year, Remember when we fell off a little bit and we had to put in the likes of Bajcetic and others? It does not work in the long term. And the season that Manchester City lost the league, ladies and gentlemen, they had to play a makeshift DM because Fernandinho was playing centre back after their centre back crisis. And that's when they lost the league. DM is one of the most important positions in the entirety of world football. Rice, Rodri, Zubimendi, Camavinga, Kroos, Modric. You could go to all the top clubs and find an unbelievable DM at said football club. And that for me is the issue. So you need us to now suddenly start believing that the same thing you've wanted for 3 years running, all of a sudden you don't need. That is the problem.
I was on your show, on your channel, sorry, and we had this conversation. And do you remember I said that, in my opinion, the most successful teams have always had a DM, and we try to think of teams of the past or recent past that have won stuff at the highest level. I'm talking without a DM, and the only ones we were able to mention was the great Barcelona team with Sergio Busquets at the helm, who's not a conventional DM per se. He's just a magnificent footballing brain and a playmaker. And I think we mentioned Madrid with Cruz, who again is an all-timer. But look at the caliber of teams we're talking about. And why I said that was, but Liverpool are not at that level. We're not even close to that level. We're starting again. We're building the foundations again. Jurgen Klopp was supposed to be building Liverpool 2.0, but then left. And then now Slot has slowly having the need to build his own philosophy. And straight away, this is the encouraging part, Husam and people. The encouraging part for me is Arne Slot has gone in there in preseason, however many sessions he's had, and has seen that Wataru Endo is not the answer for him. Finished. That's the most encouraging part that I took. As I said, and I'm not going to keep repeating myself, but full respect to Wataru Endo. I don't slag players off, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't think he's good enough, though. Okay? And Slot has identified that. And then he's also gone on and suggested, or people close to the club have suggested, Bajcetic is open to a loan. Who many people, not me again, I'm not Bajcetic's biggest fan. People know that follow me. You know, I think we're putting a lot of emphasis on Bajcetic. I don't think he's that guy. I would love to eat humble pie and put on all the weight I've lost. But if he proves to me he's the guy, then fair enough. I don't think he's that guy. We're ready to loan him out. We are playing Gravenberch and Curtis Jones in the DM position in preseason. We are obviously doing that because we're unsure of the options. We are unsure of who's to play that role. We haven't given that role to Endo. We've targeted this guy. There is no way on earth. There is no way. Don't tell us and don't insult the lowest of footballing IQ intelligence like that I have. Right? I've got the lowest footballing IQ intelligence, but even I will know that to tell you to shut up if you tell me you can't improve on Wataru Endo. That is just not feasible, believable. It doesn't make it's not rational, it's not logical. So this is why that's the maximum of my head loss, Husam. That's me losing it, by the way. You've just witnessed a head loss, my version. Obviously, your version is X-rated, my version is PG, parental guidance. But I said it this morning. I woke up at 9:40 a.m., right, as you can see. And I brought this up because people often say, the one thing that people used to say about Husam and Grizz was, oh, Husam is just ultra negative. He just, it doesn't, everything is, and Grizz is just, oh, no, Liverpool, nothing, no, they can't do nothing wrong, nothing. The reason why we're coming together is to actually speak and say, no, look at me, I'm saying 20 odd days to not look like a small club. Does that sound like a FSG apologist, red-eyed, tinted glass, positivity Olympics like Husam used to call me? No, Husam has just vouched. Husam's people have vouched. Husam has been patient this year and said, I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling preseason has been good.
I really was,
I think we're going to make big moves off the pitch and on the pitch. But we're not even asking for big moves. By the way, if you haven't followed Grizz Khan, go and check out Grizz Khan on Twitter. bit of free promotion there for the brother Grizz. But look,
it's your
I
own
am
channel.
agreeing.
It cannot be promotion. It's your own channel, Adi. You're allowed to promote yourself.
No, you're allowed to. You're allowed to. You're allowed to do. You're
No,
allowed to promote.
it's your
You're
own
allowed
channel,
to.
Grizz, man. Guys,
You're
follow
allowed
Grizz,
to, man. No one else is going to promote you, brother, in this world. Remember that.
100%. You must promote yourself. I agree.
No one else is going to promote you, brother. Remember that. You have to promote yourself sometimes. But listen, that is
That statement that you put at the end of the tweet is a Grizz that has, I wouldn't say never seen before, but a rarely spotted Grizz. Rare ever version of Grizz. But you need to understand what has led to you being in this position. And you've mentioned it there as you're speaking. It's the fact that it's the same exact position for 3 summers in a row in which you've chased one of the up and coming, almost, I'm not going to say world class, going to world class level DMs. And now all of a sudden, Gravenberg, Curtis Jones, and Soboslai are the solution. Yeah, why do you, in Grizz's words, I agree again, why do you insult our intelligence? Why, one of the statements I was saying yesterday, guys, well, my mother does not watch football, and even she knows Liverpool need a DM. It's not a secret anymore. Like, if I bring in a football casual who does not watch the sport as much, like, he'll tell you that Liverpool need a DM because it's that obvious. Wataru Endo is our starting DM. Our starting DM publicly came out and said we need a starting DM. I like that alone for me is the moment in which you should have just went and signed someone, and you need to help these players out. Because a fresh face not only brings in a new signing and a new excitement for the fans, it brings the same level of excitement for the players. Like, the players feel re-energized, the players feel like there's something new to work with, there's a little bit of excitement, and it was proven by the year where we fell off. Like the year 2 years ago where we finished 5th, we made no signings whatsoever.
I've just thought of an analogy at the top of my head, so if it doesn't make sense, just let me know in the chat, Fraud, and I'll change it. But just top of my head, I just thought of an analogy. Right, kids are off school at the moment, right? Holiday season. Yeah.
Yeah.
After a summer school of holidays, kids, when they go back to school, if they have a nice new uniform, not even nice new uniform, just a new pencil or pen.
Yeah.
They want to take a new pen to school. It's starting again. Look, so we're going to the same school. We're ready to work hard, but we got a new pen. It just rejuvenates them. It might be the same bag, it might be the same books, but just a new pen or a new calculator or a new ruler. Just something to freshen up every summer. And that's all we thought we needed right now. Like, as you said, I think the preseason has been very positive. For the first time in a long time, I was down at the end of the season. The way it ended, Klopp leaving, the uncertainty around the new manager, another bald Dutchman. You think to yourself, all the jokes are building up, the memes are building up. What are we doing? He's running the Dutch league. But slowly but surely, this guy, very quietly behind the scenes, he's made a big impression on me. Of course, I had the absolute honor and pleasure of asking him a question in the press conference. I even felt his aura in the press conference, like they're all the journalists and everything. When he walked in, he's got something about him, Husam, honestly. I know he has done nothing yet. I know not a competitive ball has been kicked under his coaching, under his management. But sometimes you have to go with your gut instinct. And there was a lot of pressure on him. Who is he replacing? He's replacing a fucking icon in Jurgen Klopp. And so much pressure, so much everything. But I think he's handled everything so far so well. And he's made the right calls, apparently, in training and everything. Players are buzzing. And all we want now is just, I don't know about you, and I'm going to ask you.
Give him the tools, by the way.
No, not even tools. No, he's got the tools. Just give him that extra upgrade of tool. Like, he's got a hammer, but it's a little bit worn. It's a little bit, doesn't have the same effect. Just give him a new one. Part exchange. So we're even saying you don't need to spend new on a hammer. You can sell that old one in Wataru Hendo, recoup 14-15 million that you paid for Wataru Hendo, add another 30 million or so, and go and buy him a brand new hammer. And go and hammer teams. Because we've seen every team in recent history needs okay, when I say specialist DM, people know what we mean, right? I don't want to go into the complexities of what's a DM, because there's different ways of playing DM. And we know this manager wants a ball playing DM. This manager wants a guy who's comfortable with the ball at his feet, but is also the deepest lying playmaker. Wataru Endo is not that guy. It's so
Yeah, he
obvious.
isn't. He isn't. The problem with Endo is currently, as currently constructed, he's not a destroyer per se, and he's not a like play out from the back deep lying playmaker either. You know, he's like a little bit in the middle, like he has a good tackles every now and then, good pass every now and then, but it's not consistent enough.
With Endo, very quickly, we end on Wataru Endo in this segment. With Endo, I think he's one of the shrewdest high footballing IQs in his head. I think Wataru Endo is one of the most intelligent tactical players around. His body just can't do what his brain is saying, guys. He hasn't got the physical attributes to do what his brain is saying. He knows where to cover. He's brilliant at seeing danger. But how many times does he's always a second late? That's because this physically he's not up to it. And you got to remember he's played at centre half a lot of his time, and you can tell from his distribution he's a centre back playing in midfield. But look, it seems as though we're not going for a backup plan. I'd like to think that it's a ploy so we can now work in silence. I pray it's a ploy that we can go behind the scenes and work in silence to still get a backup DM. Like you said, we've had a backup right winger turn out to be one of the greatest players of all time. A backup left winger turned out to be the greatest player of all time. So we have done backup plans that have turned out to be magnificently successful. Even Alisson, by the way, was a kind of backup plan because we were about to sign up Jack Butland. But then the Fekir deal fell through and we bought Alisson, which is a kind of a backup deal. Kind of. I'm not saying it's a backup deal straight for deal.
Plan B's work sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely happen. Plan B's absolutely happen. So we like to think there is a plan B out there. But the rest of the news seems like it's all concentrated at the moment on outgoings, Husam. Fabio Carvalho leaving for 22 plus 7 million in add-ons. Fantastic deal, right?
Yes, absolutely a fantastic deal. And you know, this comes back to me being positive, you know, and being different this summer. I really have been different. The guy that done the thumbnail, he messaged me, he's like, Husam, Carvalho is leaving Liverpool Football Club. Do you want to do a stream? I'm like, not even worth it. Why? Like, with all due respect, people, we cannot build stuff based off of preseason. We can't. Because I'm going to mention a name that's not very endearing to many Liverpool fans. Iago Aspas. In case you guys forgot, Iago Aspas scored goals in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Indonesia. And as soon as we came back to the Premier League, the goals dried up. The goals dried up and he never performed. With all due respect to Fabio Carvalho, yes, he's had 2 or 3 good games in preseason. Let's all assess this logically. He was going to be the 4th choice left winger and the 3rd choice 10. And that was never, ever going to be the identity or the thought process of a youngster who wants to play football, wants to develop, and wants to someday somehow make the Portugal squad. At the end of the day, keeping Carvalho wouldn't have made, in my opinion, a positive impact at Liverpool Football Club. And to be honest with you, 28 million is a lot of money to get for Fabio Carvalho, even in the modern market. I'm sorry, that is a lot of money because he went to Leipzig on loan, didn't really play much there because he was benched over there as well. You know, he had like good performances here and then at Hull City. He had good loan spells here and there, you know. So he doesn't really have like a. And remember as well, Grizz, there's another thing you need to remember. Brentford bought him. So for Brentford, 28 million is a lot of money. Like for Brentford, it's not like they've got 28 million laying around willing to spend it on anyone. If Brentford spent 28 million, they've spent 28 million. So for them, it's like a bigger deal spending that much money. And the fact that they spend that on Carvalho, they must believe in him completely. They must see something. But from a Liverpool perspective, with all due respect, as much as I've spoken about the Diaz's and you know how much I don't rate him, or maybe Gakpo still needs to prove himself, or the fact that Jota's injury prone, he doesn't usurp anyone on the left wing. And when you look at the 10 position, Szoboszlai is ahead of him, Elliott's ahead of him. So that's for me is a fantastic sale. I mean, 28 million pounds, I take that all day, every day.
I think it was the turning point when he didn't even play 5 minutes in the number 10 in any of the preseason games. Like we had no Nunes, we had no Jota, we had no Nunes, we had no Diaz. no Gakpo, and yet he
Yeah.
didn't play 5 minutes in the number 10. He was asked to play on the left. Again, I managed to get a quick word with him in the mix zone after the game, and I said, "What I reminded him of Harvey Elliott and how they played together, and also he said about sort of his plans, but off the camera, he did say, "Look, at the end of the day, I just want to play." And once he said that, I knew he's not going to stay here. He's not going to stay. He wants to play. He's at that age where he's done the loans, he's done moving around. He just wants to play regularly. And as you said, he was fourth in the pecking order. Today, again, by the way, so I just forgot today's news. How do you pronounce, guys? Write the name out of the goalkeeper that we're linked with.
Mamardashvili.
Yeah, your Georgian is better than mine. So Mamadashvili, I'm going to say in Punjabi, Mamadashvili has been strongly linked with Liverpool. The story behind Mamadashvili is we want to buy him because we believe in his potential. We think he's a future world star. People that watch Euros were very impressed with this guy. Didn't have the greatest of seasons with Valencia because Valencia themselves didn't have a great season, but he's a fantastic keeper. Look, I know it's difficult to isolate this deal because we just want a DM right now. We just want a left back or centre back right now. But in isolation, this is the kind of deal that we used to be known as in terms of succession planning. Because in my opinion, and I've got a little bit of a hot take on Alisson, and in terms of, I know people say goalkeepers can play until they're 35, 36. I don't think Alisson has, in my opinion, I don't think he's got the design hunger to play until 35, 36. Alisson is one of those guys that just wants to go church and cook barbecues on the weekend in a few years' time. He will definitely want to retire in a couple of years' time. So succession planning sounds perfect, but this story coming out now is just going to add frustration to the fan base, isn't it? But surely we need to separate the two things. This sounds like good succession planning, right? Husam.
Grizz, you're asking me for the impossible, brother. You're asking me for the impossible. You're asking me to isolate.
Yeah,
you're asking me to isolate.
As soon as I said that, I know I asked the wrong question, the wrong person.
You knew, dude. I cannot isolate because the reason why I cannot isolate is we're signing the one position that, forget 99%, 100% of the Liverpool fans are happy with. Everyone's happy with Kelleher. Everyone's happy with Alisson. And I think everyone's happy with Jaros as well from the short stuff we've seen in pre-season.
Fantastic.
So you're like, you know what? Fair enough. Give Kelleher, if Alisson, God forbid, gets injured, you've got Kelleher, you've got Jaros to play the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup games, blah, blah, blah. So you're in a good position for that. Listen, he's a good goalkeeper, but at the end of the day, he doesn't change anything for us in the short term. And the fact that he's getting it loaned out means that we don't get to see him this year anyway. So like, you're getting in a player, regardless of potential, regardless of how good he could become, he comes in and eventually he actually goes to play for another football club, So that for me is why this conversation is like, okay, man, like, okay, we're gonna get this Mamardashvili guy. He's a good goalkeeper, but does he help what we're trying to accomplish right now? Maybe Mamardashvili will be a very good goalkeeper, best goalkeeper in the world. What, like 3 years from now, 4 years from now, for being honest. So this is a complete future plan that neither me, you, or anyone in the chat can guarantee works or doesn't work. We're gonna have to wait and see. But at the end of the day, in the short term, it doesn't help us. And the fact that and and you said I cannot isolate the fact that it's the one position in the team that everyone's just happy about.
No, I get it.
And that it's announced now. Like maybe me and you, by the way, and any person in the world, maybe the reaction to Mamardashvili, had we signed him like as soon as the Euros ended, or like a month ago, we had a completely different reaction. We just signed a guy who's fantastic, incredible player, blah blah blah. But that's not happened. It's not happened. So, yeah, it's
look, I get it. I get it. The timing, Liverpool were magnificent at PR usually, but this at the moment the timing is not. I get it. The timing is very.
The PR is horrible right now. The PR is horrible.
That's what I mean. It's very difficult to isolate, but I can isolate, and I think it's future planning, is future proofing, especially if Kelleher doesn't want to stick around. I know at the moment there's no offers for him as such, but I wouldn't rule out
Yeah,
Kelleher.
but that changes it, Grizz. If Keller doesn't want to stick around, you keep Mamardashvili to begin with. You don't loan him out.
But then we actually do believe in Jaros as well, you see, and
Yeah.
and still we can't keep Mamadashvili because he thinks he's good enough to be number one. So I genuinely believe the likes of Bayern Munich, Man City will come for him in the next year or so. I genuinely believe that. You got to remember both those clubs are looking for new goalkeepers, replacement keepers. So before that, I think we should snap him up. But apparently, we're a little bit way off the valuation. And then there's obviously the likes of squad players being loaned out or given out. The latest Bobby Clark being 10 million, being probably going to be accepted. There's rumors of Ben Doak. I'm a fan of Ben Doak. I don't want him sold permanently. People in the chat know I think Ben Doak has the potential to be a wonderful, wonderful player with us. While Husam fixes his camera, I don't know if he's there. The squad players again, I'm absolutely okay with selling. Just if they're not going to be, I'm past the caring of they're homegrown, they've come through the academy. I think the academy has two purposes. The academy has two purposes. One purpose is to make as much money as you can, and the other is to make sure gems come through. And if we don't think that they're gems, then make money from them. That's my philosophy.
No, this is true. This is true. But here's the issue. Once again, we talk about timing. We talk about all of that. The likes of Harvey, Blair, maybe others, I get it. Here's the thing for me. You say we're not going to sign a DM and we're going to promote this guy and we're going to allow this guy to play. By definition, if you're not going to sign a DM, keep Bajcetic. Don't loan him out. Give him at least some time to play over there. Bobby Clark was a player that I thought actually had a future at Liverpool. I mean, last season in the Premier League, he pulled up Nottingham Forest away. Had a fantastic performance for us, Nottingham Forest away. Played very well for us. So I thought he had a future. He was one of the youngsters that actually was quite exciting, to be honest with you, compared to the others. Like, let's be real. Like, listen, I know Kumas scored a goal and you had moments from McConnell, moments from others, but when you've watched football for so long, within half an hour, you know if a youngster is it or not. And when you watch Bobby Clark, you could see he has that bit about him. He has that charisma. He wants to play. He wants to take on the man. He takes risks. It's stuff that I like about a midfielder specifically. So, like, if you're not gonna sign a DM and at the same time you're selling the youngsters, you're loaning out youngsters, you're getting rid of youngsters. It's just the concoction that makes no sense to me. If we're gonna sign a DM, then of course, if Bobby Clark is looked at as a player that cannot help us going forward, I understand, us selling him, and I get it, to be honest with you. But the thing is, all these things that you've spoken about are all related to each other. All of them are related to each other, because the news cannot be, "Hey guys, we're not gonna get a DM. Hey guys, we're gonna loan out Bajcetic," in the same sentence. That for me is like, okay, like, wait, what? Like, okay, so if God forbid, let's say a Gravenberg gets injured, at least I have a Bajcetic who can play. Like, maybe if I need him in like 5-6 Carabao Cup games, 5-6 FA Cup games, maybe I'm at home like an Ipswich, something like that. Okay, maybe I can play Bajcetic in there. He could play like 10 Premier League games, 15 Premier League games if I need him. So for me, look, man, the direction, we need to see a coherent plan. We need to see an idea. We need to see executional skills before us actually backing what's happening at Liverpool Football Club under Hughes and Edwards. And so far, they haven't given us any reason to go like, whoa, Hughes and Edwards are cooking and all of that type of stuff. So, yeah, that's it for me on the Clark stuff.
Just some more news on some more loans, youngsters going out. Looks like we're clearing the decks, which, I'm going to do a separate stream on, separate show on about sort of the academy and from what I've been told behind the scenes about the academy stuff. So I'll save that. Castro says QPR in talks with the Liverpool over a potential loan deal for Owen Beck. I think I said that the other day on my tweet. There you go. If today's planned talks go as expected with QPR, Owen Beck is likely to join them on loan. So there you go. I did hear of that. So that's a very good chance that will go through.
You guys go follow Grizz on Twitter.
I go follow Grizz Khan, yeah, now and again. But when he says hey, block him. Anything he says after hey, block him.
Guys, remember he did 5 hays today. Please record and post on Twitter.
Listen, back to that midfield role. The player that's been used there and is potentially lined up to partner Alexis McAllister on the first day of the season is Gravenberch. I'll go first. I think Gravenberch has attributes. Okay, I think Gravenberch has a lot of attributes that a lot of players would love to have. I think his touch, his control, his ability to turn on the ball, especially for a big guy, is fantastic. His short passing, breaking the lines is fantastic. His weaknesses, in my opinion, glaring weaknesses, are his off the ball tracking and his defensive play and his tackling.
You know what you just described? A DM.
That being said, is he suited to playing alongside McAllister in the DM role? I think I've set you up there. So
Grizz just spent 15 seconds describing his weaknesses, which his weaknesses is actually the strengths of a DM, guys.
But think about my point.
Yes, I do get your point, because the strengths of a DM are tackling and defensively and off the ball. So that's exactly what we need in a DM, which he does not have, which is why we need a DM.
Isn't it?
Like that's the description you gave. You said Gravenberch's weaknesses is off the ball, his defensive work, and his tackling. You know what's off the ball defensive work and tackling? A defensive midfielder. You know what we're gonna play Gravenberch? Defensive midfielder. I think all it's gonna take is one Gravenberch mistake. All it's gonna take is one Gravenberch mistake. Like even if he makes a mistake against Ipswich and the game ends 1-1, for everyone to just go like, "Yep, this ain't it. We need a DM." Just because someone is athletic does not mean they can play DM. Use Liverpool Football Club once again as an example. There's no need to use other football clubs. In the second year of Jurgen Klopp, our starting DM was Jordan Henderson. And literally that same exact summer we bought Fabinho. Just because Henderson is athletic does not mean he can play the DM. Maybe that helps in terms of like covering a counter-attack, getting back in transition. That does not mean that he can play DM. So for me, out of everyone that is at Liverpool currently, probably he is the best suited for DM. I don't want to hear anything about Trent in DM because we saw that it just doesn't work. It just does not work in my opinion. Just let him be an inverted right back. Curtis Jones takes about 50 hours to release a ball. So anytime he has the ball in transition or wants to start an attack, we can kiss that goodbye right there because it's going to get passed left or right. Elliott obviously cannot play there. Szoboszlai, I mean, we're relying on him to play the 10 position. He's not necessarily defensively, like he has the work rate, the athleticism.
But I think he's much better than Gravenberch. I think Szoboszlai played against Arsenal in the preseason friendly, and I thought he was like Arsenal gave us a good game. Arsenal, it wasn't a friendly. Arsenal were very much up for it. Obviously, they had a scratch team out.
So where does Szoboszlai play? So who plays the 10 then?
I think this is the thing. I think Gravenberch is more suited to 10 than he is to DM. And I think Szoboszlai maybe not more suited to DM than the 10, but I think he's more suited than Gravenberch at playing DM than 10. I think he's got the energy, I think he's got the work rate, and I think he's got the tenacity. If Gravenberch can, because you can. So now that I've talked about Gravenberch's weaknesses, right, and glaring weaknesses, they are all coachable. They are all coachable. And this is the only hope I have. And I don't think he's the long-term answer, and I don't think he's going to be played there long-term. But if Slot sees him there, then I'm intrigued to see if he can coach him. Because Gini was coached into becoming a very able midfielder as well. Fabinho, people remember that played as a double pivot. Fabinho was a fullback at Monaco, then played as a double pivot, then became a lone 6. So you can be coached into becoming the best of your trade or in your trade. Let's see how that goes. Finally, contracts are up in a year. This time, 6 months' time, Salah, Trent, and Alisson. No, Salah, Trent, and Virgil will be able to negotiate free transfers away from the club. I don't expect any of them to do that. But again, it just shows you the not circus, because Chelsea is a circus, Manchester United is a circus, but
The fair carnival.
we don't want to go down that route towards becoming a circus by getting worse and worse progressively every summer. Already Arsenal ahead of us, already City ahead of us. If we don't sort out these decisions behind the scenes, and I think it will start affecting us on the pitch as well. What would you, in the priority list? I think we know the answer, but you may not have the, you are known to have not the answer that everyone else is thinking. So you may not agree, but in order of priority, and what would you do with all three contracts?
All four, you mean?
Trent?
Alisson?
No, leave Alisson. Leave Alisson. Trent, Salah, and
Trent Salah.
Pedro.
Trent Salah. I mean, here's the thing. First and foremost, look, these contracts are very important to sort out, because the reason that me, you, and many Liverpool fans do have confidence is the fact that Mo plays for Liverpool, Trent plays for Liverpool, Van Dijk plays for Liverpool, Alisson plays for Liverpool. So the four world-class players, if you would like, are there. I think McAllister is on the verge of becoming world-class. He's not world-class yet, but I think he's on the verge of it. That's another player you could add to the list. These five, for me, are the spine of Liverpool, and those are the five players that I believe will actually get us results this season and help us this season. Now, in order of priority, here's the thing. Priority number one for me has to be Trent. It has to be Trent by far. I think Trent is my favorite player at Liverpool. I absolutely love him. I think he's the future Liverpool captain. He's a difference maker. Generational talent, straight from the academy, Scouse born and bred, captain material, and can win you a game in many ways, shapes, or forms. I can say I can win you a game with a pass, with a cross, with a shot, even with a free kick.
Is he captain material?
I think that. I think he is captain material. He's vice captain now, to be fair.
I don't think he's captain material myself, but I think making him captain will make him a better player, if you know what I mean.
Possibly. Yeah, of course. Possibly.
Do you know what I mean by that? I think at the moment his focus will be razor sharp if he's made captain. At the moment, all eyes are on him anyway. All eyes are on him anyway, all the time, compared to with Walker or Trippier. All eyes are on Trent every game, every second. They've got player cam on him all the time. I think if you make him captain, I think he focuses on become even better. But I don't think he's captain material. I hope people know what I mean. Sorry, go on.
And in second place for me comes our best player, and our best player, in my opinion, is Mo. And it's and watching this preseason for me, it just emphasizes that people need to understand something. Because of sports science, because of the way that the sport is developed, it's not as soon as a player hits 30, he's done. The eras of the Wayne Rooneys is over now. Like, as soon as a player hits 30, he looks about 48 and he can't run anymore. That's not modern football. Mo is a player that doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, takes the sport very seriously. Obviously takes good care of himself, eats well, doesn't get injured, mashallah, bismillah, mashallah, inshallah, he never gets injured, so he never gets injured, always fit. This guy can play until he's 35, in my opinion, even in a different role at Liverpool, even as the forward or the second striker or whatever it is. And it's funny watching Mo, because he still is this is crazy to say in 2024, because if we were like a serious football club, we would never be in this position to begin with. But Mo still is our best forward. This very second, he still is our best forward. I mean, he's better. Yeah, he's our best forward. And you could see it the way that like, even in the preseason games, like, he gets the ball, there's already magnets to him. He's creating spaces for others. He's creating chances for others. I think he's actually gotten goals and assists in every single one of the games as well, even in preseason. Like, he created
he looks so good. So far,
against Arsenal, he scored and created, and he created against Manchester United as well. So he's someone that takes the sport really seriously. He's upgraded himself to become better, and he's actually becoming better in terms of creativity year in, year out. Like, I'm saying a new version of him, and I think he's smart for doing that. I'll tell you why. Because he's seeing, maybe as he ages a little bit of that pace and power that he had maybe when he was 27, 28, going a little bit. So he needs another trait to bring to the table. And now you're seeing a lot more sides of like, oh, Mo Salah's creating, Mo Salah's a playmaker. That for me is the guy that I would renew. And I'd renew Virgil as well. Once again, Virgil van Dijk, Liverpool centre back. And I think a 70%, 80% Van Dijk is still better probably than 99% of the centre backs in Europe. I mean, even right now, let's be honest, right here, right now, this very second, who could you say is on Van Dijk's level or caliber or has the potential to become a Van Dijk? Saliba, Rudiger, possibly, him. Like, it's just, he's what, the top 3 centre back in world football right now. So these for me are the players that are difference makers, and all the difference makers need to remain, and we need to bring in the succession plans while they're there. Bring in the succession plan as the player is there. Do not wait for the player to expire. Yarhamukumullah. Don't wait for the player to expire and then go bring in a succession plan.
Again, very unusual for me. I've got some hot takes. Normally, I'm very, what's the word? Pro? Yeah, positive. I'm going to use positive Olympics. I'm sorry. I like that. I'm very positive Olympics, usually. But I've got some shows lined up for Red Fellas on Sunday, where we'll be discussing, and I've got a few theories about Salah and Virgil and Alisson, and but we'll cross that bridge. Look, I agree with you in terms of Mohamed Salah. Obviously it's unlikely he signs a new deal. I think we're going to offer him a 1-year extension. I think at the moment he's not looking to sign that 1-year extension, but you never know. Let's see if we can show him a few PowerPoints and show him a few shisha lounges. He might want to stay in Liverpool. I think Trent has agreed on terms. I think that will be announced very soon. Virgil is the one that's concerning. I know 2 bids have been made by someone that follows me on Twitter. Remind me which team I said. I can't remember the top of my head. 2 bids have been made by the same team for Virgil van Dijk, and Liverpool didn't turn around and say he's not for sale. They said it doesn't match our valuation. Make of that what you will. It doesn't match
when
our
you say
valuation.
Liverpool didn't say that, referring to Richard Hughes?
No. From what I understand, Liverpool said that's not matching our valuation. So the bids were around 50 million, 55 million. But Virgil, I would renew him. Too much turmoil, too much change. It's impossible to replace these guys just like that.
Yeah.
It has to be done. And this is the frustration of the last 3 windows. I know we went mad last summer in midfield area, but that was just because of our necessity. It was brought upon us. Otherwise, I don't think we would have been that active even last summer. But it was brought to a head by the players missing whatever. So it should have been done. I agree. It should have been done slowly but surely. Every window, give us one replacement for one of them, because we know all great things come to an end, and these guys are great players. But look, there's still 16, 17 days to go. Okay. What are your expectations? Yeah, I know that word, because your expectations, I know, are in the mud right now. But is there any hope in your head that we may pull off one, never mind 2 players incoming, 1 or 2? And if so, give me a name that you want and a position above all. That'll make you skip to school.
Grizz, a position above all, me, you, and the whole of this chat will agree. DM. DM is the position above all. I think we could actually address everything that we need to address in the next 17 days, because the players that we want are players that are available anyway. Like, if we want to get a left back, we could still get Ait Nouri. Nothing's stopping us from getting Ait Nouri. If we want a centre back, we could go get one of the centre backs, like a Lukeba or like a Tudib or like a whoever from the French league. If we want to go get a DM, there are plenty of options. Ederson, Varela, etc., etc. I could go on and on and on with available DMs. Joao Gomez from Wolverhampton Wanderers, that's another club. You could sign potentially break the bank for Bruno Guimaraes. I think that one's be a bit more difficult, but you could still do it if you wanted to. And I still stick about what I said 2 months ago. We 100% need a forward line player, in my opinion. Someone needs to alleviate pressure off of Mo Salah. Now, are we going to sign four players?
By selling one, or even if you don't sell him, you want to bring in one?
Oh, I would sell Diaz happily.
Okay, you'd sell one and then bring. No, but what I'm saying is, what if you can't sell Diaz?
If you can't sell Diaz, then pray, do dua. Pray, do dua that suddenly he learns how to do something in the final third, because that's the only way we're going to do anything this season, to be honest with you. So, look, what I expect to happen in the next 17 days is we probably sign this Mamardashvili guy and we sign another player. I think we sign one more player and we call it quits. You know, knowing Liverpool Football Club, we probably sign a centre back or something like that, something that's not even a DM. And I think the lack of DM will probably get exposed within like 3, 4, 5 games. And I'll tell you the game that will get exposed. 3 games into the season. Man United away, Grizz. Get ready that game.
So then that comes to my last question. We're going to finish up with the super chats, people. That comes to my last question. Then if that's the case, we bring in Mamardashvili and we bring in a centre-back who's not going to be a starting centre-back, because we know we've got 2 or 3 starting centre-backs.
Yeah.
In that case, give me your expectations for the season, where you think we will finish.
Liverpool are in a grey area, Grizz. That hasn't changed. Liverpool are in a grey area. We haven't went to white. We haven't went to black. We're literally in the middle. We're in the grey. The reason why we're in the grey is Trent is here, Alisson's here, Van Dijk's here, Mo's here. Because those 4 are here alongside the likes of McAllister, I think we eventually finish third. And I'll tell you why. We're not as good as Arsenal and City, and we're not as bad as Villa, Spurs, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to finish third. This is going to be a boring season where nothing new happens, to be honest with you. I think we get top 4. I don't think top 4 is at risk. I'll tell you, if Van Dijk left, if Alisson left, Trent left, or Salah left, I'll tell you top 4 is at risk. Right now, top 4 is not at risk.
Of course, yeah. Of course.
So, like, for me, that's why we needed to sign players. If we had signed players, I believe we could have challenged. But I don't see us challenging now. And if we do challenge, we're going to be the first team to fall off. And yeah, like exactly what happened last year for me. Because I don't expect Nunes to do any better. He's not going to magically learn how to finish, in my opinion. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he scores 100 goals. I don't think Diaz is going to magically get any better. I don't think Jota is going to magically stop getting injured. I don't think Konate is going to magically stop getting injured. So, yeah, I think we sign one player, we fall short. We don't do what's enough for what's required for Liverpool Football Club, and we need signings. And you know what it is? You know what's crazy? And I know you know this for a fact. If we really wanted to, we could actually sign the 4 players we need in the next 17 days. Like for real, we could actually sign 4 players in the next 17 days, no problem. But we won't. And we finish third.
I'm going to finish off with the super chats, and then we're going to end the stream. Thank you very much for joining us. Philip H says, to see 2 legends side by side, no signings, LFC. Thank you very much, Philip H. DJ Ban says, Husam, George Schmack can't sign Szoboszlai, Endo, Graver, McAllister in 1 window. Hughes can't sign shit. Nat and Sepp staying, no midfield, no back-up right winger. Terry Tibbs talks 4. He says, Husam, my brother, hope you're well. Big up, Grizz. Luis Diaz is the biggest catfish. That's exactly what you were saying. Essentially, Gal looks like Rihanna, but downstairs. Yeah. Allow that. I can't say that. Captain says Grizz, Salam, Gordon. Yeah, I'm very confident, Gordon. Husam went from Redman TV mode to full Glee Gunner Hill, Nasir says.
Yeah, I was actually quite positive this summer, man, but they changed me negatively.
Well, let's hope for Husam's BP levels, man, and you know, Husam's not married yet, people, man. We can't ruin his health like that, man. He's got babies to make yet, man. Can we please make some signings and play some good football?
Project Salah.
Indrek's strongest soldier says, I think I'm qualified to speak on how people like Hughes and Edwards think. They will have calculated less than average odds for winning the Champions League this year, and 2nd place equals 5th place in actual rewards. Okay. Axe says, Salam lads, I'm absolutely massive fans of both of you. I never catch you live, but wanted to say keep going and love you both, brothers. Thank you very much. Hope you guys
just got us live, Axe. Hope you enjoyed it.
NS Sports TV says Grizz or Husam kohor collabs karne chahiye. You understand a little bit Urdu because I know you watched Indian films now and again. So you know what that means, right? He just says we should do more collabs, basically. Oh, you don't? Oh, come on, man. I've got to teach you a bit of Urdu. All right.
Shukriya,
It's
bhai.
yeah, shukriya, bhai. See, I told you, you know bits. Mo says, both of you guys, 100 million, 1 DM, choice, go.
Bruno Guimaraes. 100 million, Bruno Guimaraes.
100 million.
Because he said 100 million, Grizz.
Yeah,
He didn't say choose the DM.
I'm thinking, but this day and market and age, 100 million, and it has to be realistic. So Bruno Guimaraes is realistic, actually, for 100 million, because they would sell for 100 million. So obviously the obvious one would be Zubimendi, but that's not realistic.
Yeah, me and you would both take him, but that's not happening.
Yeah, no, 100 million, and you can cuss me for however long you don't want, but Adam Wharton is him. Adam Wharton is him. Never thought I would see the collab, but I'm happy. Thank you very much.
The collab was last week as well. Badr, where have you been, you fraud? Hope you're well.
Yes, we've done the first show on his channel. We're looking to do alternative weeks, but we'll keep you posted. A great show, Grizz. Love from Lockie, the big dog. Thank you very much. And he says, access Salindo and sign Andre from Fluminense, stopgap. I don't want a stopgap anymore, guys. Terry Seb says, if Hugh pulls out his finger and gets Nouri at centre-back, a centre-back and a DM with sound. We have 17 days left. Throw 80 million at Palace for Adam Wharton. He's going to be a star. I absolutely agree with your last point there. Big up Grizz and Husam. Can't believe this is how Liverpool are moving. Even Arsenal taking the piss with Marino now.
Did you see that? Their valuation is 10 million less. Yo, if the same thing happens to Arsenal, they can take the you know, me and you doing this show is like Adi, we're just talking. When you go on Big Six, when I do shows, like I'm about to do a show literally like 15 minutes from now with Rivals. Oh, it's hell. Oh, it's absolute hell. It's a travesty because you're never gonna get never gonna get the end of it.
Yeah, look, people are plotting our downfall for so long. People are absolutely plotting our downfall. But let them plot. I still think they end up with Marino. I was speaking with an Arsenal journalist who actually told me about our interest in good Zubimendi. So that's how I found out about Zubimendi, from the Arsenal journalist. And he's very, very confident that the deal will go through. But I would absolutely love it if it didn't go through. Then hell will break loose on Big Six.
Yes,
don't go anywhere.
Just take the press away from us, man.
NBA, which is my brother Bilal from Salah. Big up Bilal. I know I've been meaning to call you. I haven't called you since Hajj. I will inshallah call you and we have a catch up. Assalamu alaikum. Collab was long overdue. Two of the best Liverpool content creators, Husam, Habibi. You probably don't remember me from Spaces day one.
I do, okay. Bilal. This is Bilal, right?
Yes, he does remember you. There you go, mashallah. He does remember you.
I remember you, Bilal.
So big up Bilal, who's an actual personal friend of mine. So big him up, people. Husam, I've really enjoyed my chai and I've really enjoyed my chat. So, guys, as far as first chai and chat goes, that is it. We hope to be doing more chais and chats once a week on his channel, once a week on my channel. Season's here. Look, let's see how it goes. There's nothing guaranteed, good or bad. We don't want to have a fall off like Wenger and Arsenal and Fergie and United. That's what we don't want. I hope we don't have a fall off like that. Still 16 days to salvage something from this window. But until then, take care. Peace out.
Welcome to the Half Space Football Show, brought to you by Football.